We mentioned him during last week's episode of Grid Tonight, and he received some additional attention in recent days on the wrap-up and encore shows as well. Get to know the name, Colin Zilisch. It's Connor. See, even I've done it. Connor Zilisch as well. He's doing some incredible things at such a young age as well. We will learn that name. I am, definitely. But Zilisch has been absolutely impressive. Last week we reported on his Xfinity schedule for this season. He'll debut at Watkins Glen and run a few races with JR Motorsports on the back end of the season. Over the weekend, he won in the LMP2 class at Sebring. What a fantastic race that was at Sebring, by the way. To go along with his Rolex 24 at Daytona victory. He's only 17 years old and he's already won 2 Crown Jewel endurance event races. Now, we're learning he's going to run full-time in the ARCA Menards Series East, and Zilisch will drive the number 28 Chevrolet for Pinnacle Racing Group and go for the ARCA East Championship, along with 4 additional ARCA races and select starts in the Cars Tour as well. Now, Zilisch will also make his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut at this weekend's race at the Circuit of the Americas in the number 7 Spire Motorsport Chevrolet. Now, he'll run 2 other truck races at Talladega and Homestead. Interesting enough, though, Zilisch will run a double on Saturday in 2 different states. First, the truck race at COTA, then he'll fly to Florida to compete in ARCA East season opener at Five Flags Speedway in Florida hours later. Now, most people are aware of his success on road courses, but he's shown strength on the ovals too in stock car with wins on the short tracks. The graphic courtesy there of Pinnacle Racing. Well, Matt, I don't know if I said Connor or Colin first of all as well. Connor Z, baby, if you just been watching him since Karting Legends as Astro Police as well. I was literally saying before about Zilisch being the pronunciation of the name, but you've jogged my memory. We were talking about him during the Rolex 24 coverage as well. Adam says top 5 in both races. Connor will be competing this weekend. Good luck to him. That's what he thinks going to be. Would love to see him in IndyCar. He's on the roll to do everything. So, Matt, what are the chances that Zilisch can win the 2 races in 2 different states on the same day, just hours apart? It's effectively like what we're going to see Larson do later on in the year.
Yeah, he's a busy boy. He's dovetailing all of that, what you've just said about Josh, with Mazda MX-5 Cup as well, which if he had run the full schedule last year, he probably would have won the championship, but he missed races and that set him back in the points because he was doing Trans Am TA2, and if he'd run the full schedule in that, he probably would have won the championship too, but he didn't, unfortunately. But it's sensational, and then to go up into LMP2 at the beginning of this year with the Dwight Merriman's team, and win at Daytona and win this weekend at Sebring. 17 years old. I don't know what I was doing at 17. Well, I know what I was doing. Not this. The guy is super talented and he's going places. Swooped up by Trackhouse at the beginning of the year. So he's well in line for a promotion through the ranks if he can keep stuff going. To this weekend, Baptism of Fire, 2 races with a plane ride in between. Of course, it is the double on Saturday at COTA with the truck race preluding into the Xfinity race later in the afternoon. So it's a double at COTA and it's a double for Connor as he does the truck race and jumps on a plane and goes to Florida, as he said, to do the race at Five Flags. So a huge opportunity for him to stand up and be noticed in the NASCAR paddock. We already know what he's been doing in the IMSA paddock, as I've mentioned, and now he gets a chance to do things a little bit more in the NASCAR scene. He had a good run at Watkins Glen in the ARCA race there last year. Absolutely agree, Astral. His TA2 onboards are breathtaking. He was at Gateway last year, absolutely destroyed the field on the road course at Gateway that they ran last year. Matthew Owens, good evening to you. Matthew said, God bless anyone in that truck race at COTA. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one on Saturday, I feel like. More on that in Hots and Knots later on. But Zilisch is, on his way, it looks like, to be one of the next real fast kids coming through the system in the NASCAR world, especially. Was that comment before that IndyCar? I think he'll be going in the stock car route. Apart from his FIA karting world championship from a few years ago, he has gone saloon stuff since then. So it looks like his path may be forged for him by Justin Marks potentially with the Trackhouse link up. But someone certainly, we've been talking about him over the last couple of weeks and with other things. So someone certainly to look out for this weekend and going forward.
Yeah, regardless of the path Zilisch takes in his young racing career, he has shown rare ability to adapt, not to just about any style of racing and discipline. It's absolutely fantastic. As you said, we've seen him win in karting, Mazda MX-5. Those, by the way, side note, Mazda MX-5, 2 classic races already. What is going on? 2 dead heats the line. Daytona and at Sebring, fabulous stuff. We've seen him in Trans Am, IMSA, LMP2 prototypes, of course, that we saw him win at Rolex earlier on in the year. Late models, we've also almost seen him win in his ARCA National debut last year at Watkins Glen, as you mentioned at the top of the show. So when was the last time you've seen a young driver have the ability to find immediate success in various types of race cars? And where do you see Zilisch landing in his career? And of course, he's got the trackhouse support as well. Don't say Max Verstappen.
No, I wasn't going to. And to your point about MX5, someone over the winter on social media did a table of the combined first to second results of all the series in the world, basically. Guess what was top? Yes, Mazda MX5 for last year. All of their combined margins of victory. It was the closest over 16 races or whatever it was last year. It is excellent. Get around it. It'll be back at wherever. And Laguna Seca, I think, is their next round with IMSA in 7 weeks' time. They don't go to Long Beach, of course, but they'll be at Laguna. Zilisch, the last part, I don't know. He really did stand out to me. I got into watching MX5 last year and TA2 for whatever reason. And I was like, well, who's this? This is this young guy that's beating up on people. He did a Trans Am race at Road Atlanta and made an overtake down the hill into the chicane in a wet to dry race on the last lap to take the victory. And that was, wow, this guy's special. Who is this guy? I need to find out more about him. Someone that I think, not Max Verstappen, I think the last person to mind that sprung out to me a little bit like this was George Russell. Because I remember watching him in British F4 or whatever it was, BDRC F4 or whatever it was back in the mid 20-teens. Winning races there, and I was like, oh, there's another guy that's special. And it's nice now we're at that age, I think all three of us on the show and probably some people watching, where you've seen people come all the way through now. Your Russells, your Norrises. I was a little bit behind on Hamilton until he got to GP2 and then obviously burst onto the F1 scene, but it's good to see the Leclercs, the Russells, the Norrises come all the way through. You watch them do their stuff in the junior formula and get to the top, and I think Zilisch definitely is of that ilk, but obviously on the American scene. Adam says MX5 Cup is sensational. It absolutely is. Streamed on Racers YouTube channel live, and obviously on the IMSA stuff as well. More on IMSA's YouTube later on in Knots and Knots. Astral says to Adam, one of the best series on planet Earth. Can't disagree. Pinnacle with one in the middle instead of I of motorsport is Mazda MX-5 Cup. Absolutely sensational. And Zilisch, one of the stars in it, should have won the championship last year if he completed all the races. And has been, I can't remember off the top of my head, he didn't win at Daytona, he didn't win this weekend, but he was in the hunt in both of or all 4 races we've had this year to win and has come up short. So if you're short on something to watch on a slow weekend, and this weekend is not a slow weekend, and there's an MX-5 Cup race on, make sure you get it in front of a television screen or a stream of it, because it is brilliant.